Well, first thing right off the bat, you got to keep in mind that it's not you. The reason that the narcissist hates you is not because you are you. I mean, it's because he or she is born this way. I truly believe that. Now, I'm nearly 70 years old. I've got nearly 7 decades rather, of experience. I've seen these things, I've learned from them, and one of the things that I've learned from my studies is that narcissism tends to be something that is not so much learned as it is something that we are born with. Okay, so once you begin to experience life as a narcissist, you have influences from outside that pushes you in that direction. So, all right, you do have some influence, but you got to keep in mind the reason that they selected you. Well, there may be a reason why you in particular, but you got to keep in mind that underneath all this is the narcissist just has an innate propensity to be a narcissist. All right, number one is it's not you. So number two is it could be your success. Now, when I tell people this, typically a response would be, oh, come on, Ken, I'm not that successful. It's not like I'm a multimillionaire. I don't own fancy cars, don't own fancy houses, big houses. What do you mean by success? Well, the fact of the matter is, if you are just a smidgen, a scintilla, more successful than a narcissist, he or she may consider that a massive success because, well, you're a step ahead. So if you have any success in life, and we're going to talk about this a little more detail in a minute, have any success in life, they don't like that. They need to bring you down so you become instantly a target. Well, doesn't that include just about everybody? Yeah, pretty much. Depends on the narcissist, but narcissists tend to be they tend to be abject failures because they are so obsessed with themselves that they never seem to be able to get ahead in life because they just don't know what it takes. What they're focused on is getting supply to boost their ego. So, they fall behind. Number three is self-esteem, self-perception. So typically, a narcissist is an individual who thinks very lowly of himself. Okay, that's counterintuitive. Why is he a narcissist? I thought narcissists were people that thought very highly of themselves. Well, not really. You see, a narcissist is somebody who presents himself or herself as higher than everybody else, more important than everybody else, more attractive, more successful, again, than everybody else. That is the way they present. But deep down inside, it's not really true. It's all a cover. It's all stage makeup. So they have this self-esteem problem. They have this perception of themselves that is lower than you. So that makes you a target. Number four is if you dare to disagree with a narcissist on just about anything. Okay, just think of something. Whatever it is, if you disagree with a narcissist, you become a target. I mean, instantly, because you have poked a hole in their ego. And they're trying to inflate their ego, not deflate their ego. And by just disagreeing with them, well, I guess nobody likes someone who is constantly disagreeing. But with a narcissist, it's just about anything. And by the way, if you ever tell a narcissist no, I mean, that word, they really they hate it because you're telling them they're not the big shot they think they are. You're telling them, hey, that mask you're wearing, that you're presenting yourself as a super person? It's fake, and I can see through it, and so I'm going to say, no, you don't know. They hate that. That will make you a target. Number five, if you devalue them in any way, kind of the same as daring to disagree, but there could be other ways that you devalue a narcissist, and you may do it unintentionally, and it may just be their perception. You may not be trying to devalue the narcissist. You may not even be devaluing the narcissist, but he or she thinks you are. That's the way they take it. For example, you could just walk into a room, same place as a narcissist, and they see you. And instantly they dislike you because they think you present better than they are, better than they do. So you are devaluing the narcissist, not intentionally, not willfully, maybe not even in reality, but that's the way they perceive it. So you have to come down a notch or two. And by the way, if you ever hear anybody say, we need to take that guy down a notch or two, chances are that is maybe not a narcissist, but that is a narcissist behavior. When was the last time you heard somebody say, we need to take that guy up a notch or two? You don't hear that, right? Okay, so that tends to be something that a narcissist or somebody with narcissistic tendencies would say because they're always looking to elevate themselves by taking others down just a bit. Number 6, they will target you if you don't need them. Everybody needs a narcissist. I mean, how could you possibly survive? How could you live without the narcissist at the workplace? I mean, how can your family function without the narcissist? Even if he's not a member of the family, still, you got to have his input on what you're doing wrong. A narcissist, by the way, is the guy who will tell you how to raise your kids, even if he doesn't have any kids. The narcissist is the guy who will tell you what's wrong with your marriage, even if he's or she has been divorced 10 times. These people, they can see what's wrong with you, but somehow that mirror that reflects the same thing back to them, it doesn't exist. I mean, all they see is what's wrong with everyone else so they can elevate themselves a little bit. So number 7 is comparison by, not to, but by others. Have you ever been compared to somebody else and the other person really got bent out of shape over it? And maybe there was no intent of comparing you. But for example, somebody could pay you a compliment. Somebody standing by, they hear the compliment and they become really annoyed by that because you were getting the compliment and not the other person. If a narcissist hears you being complimented, do you know what the narcissist will do? Is he or she likely will become very offended because that's kind of that's another leak in their ego. They don't like that. They want to be inflated, not deflated. So they see that as a comparison. And, what's wrong with comparisons? We all like to be, well thought of. I remember when I was a kid, my aunts would always compliment my older brother on how handsome he was. And they would say something like, "Oh, you are so handsome." Then they'd look at me and realize what they were saying. They'd say, "Oh, so are you." "Yeah, right." And I got it. Even a little kid. Okay, so I'm not as good looking as everybody else. No big deal. Now, a narcissist wouldn't take it that way. A narcissist would be outraged. Now, maybe quietly, maybe silently, maybe deep inside, but the narcissist would be enraged that somebody else would be acknowledged as being somehow better than they are. By the way, narcissists don't do well on a basketball court because they want to be the hero all the time. I was going to say they want to be the quarterback, but that's a different game. Number 8 is this: you are not entitled. Now, we talked about this in another video, so we're going to keep this a little bit brief, but the narcissist does not believe you're entitled to whatever you have because he thinks he or she is entitled to it. So what do you got? What do you got? What do you have? Well, get a car, you're not entitled to it. The narcissist is entitled at least to a better car. You got a nice house, the narcissist doesn't think you're entitled to that, or at least not a house nicer than he is. Do you have a full-time job? Well, if the narcissist doesn't have a full-time job, and many of them don't because they don't like anybody telling them what to do, so they tend to not go to work. You're not entitled to that job. They are. Whatever you own, whatever you have, whatever you possess, if a narcissist perceives it as being better than something they own or possess, then you're not entitled to it. They are, so why do you have it? So you become a target and they put you down. By the way, most every narcissist I've encountered, with some exceptions, virtually all of them tend to be thieves. They have no qualms whatsoever about taking things that don't belong to them. Do you see those 2 rectangles on the screen? If you like what we've been talking about, let's keep talking. All you got to do is click on one of those 2 rectangles and the conversation continues. If not, thanks for stopping by and we will see you all next time.